I made a bunch of Painty papers recently and wanted to put them together in some journal form. So if you watched the video where I painted the papers, you know, I had some that were on these, they're kind of like dictionary pages. They're from a library directory, but they're really thin dictionary pages. So I painted some on a slightly heavier but still thin, cheap copy paper, and, you know, just swiped them with a credit card. And what I've done is I put them together to make these little journals. Now there were 4 of these, which I could have put all together, all 4 together to make, you know, a really cool bigger journal. But for me, for, you know, usability, if I put them all together in a big impressive journal, I probably wouldn't use it. And I wanted something I would use. So I divided them up into 4 signatures like this, and I just alternated this paper with this paper, and then another one of these, and another one of those, you know, did that until I had, I don't know how many I used. 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, folded in half, I've got 28 pages. And then, you know, I decided I wanted to do each one individually. So what I ended up doing is, on this one, I made a cover, a simple cover that I'm going to show you. And then just sewed, I used my sewing machine to sew the pages in. And you can do this with a regular sewing machine if, you know, your pages are thin enough. And these were actually pretty thin. It wasn't a big deal. But just use long stitches and you can bind yourself a little journal. And I did trim off the edges when I was finished because I like that look. I have a stack cutter that makes that really easy to do, and if you don't have that, this can be not easy to do because it's a lot of, you know, this with an X-Acto, you know, over and over again. It's doable, it's just not fun for me, but that's totally optional. You know, you can just bind it and then just leave your edges like they are, which is perfectly fine. So I did this one, I loved it. I love the cover. We're going to make the cover together here in a minute. And then I've still got these 2. And then there was this one. And it was just like this, but I cut it in half, again, because I can. So, yeah, and you can do it too, but that's not fun for me like I was talking about. So, totally optional. But I did make this smaller one, and I just did a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You know, same thing, alternated the pages, and I did trim it up. That's, you know, this is what it looked like before I trimmed it. So you can see I just trimmed a little bit off of the edges to clean it up, and that's totally optional. But there's that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did this easy cover, and find the middle. There it is. Just like that. And then how I bound it. We'll do another one. We'll do this one, and we'll do a pamphlet stitch on it, just in case, you know, you need a refresher or a reminder of how easy it is. So the cover, I took a piece of Painty paper, painted on both sides. This is just on copy paper. And I decided which one do I want for the inside, which one for the outside. And I think I want this on the inside because I didn't do anything to it. It just stays like it is. This is the outside. And all I did, because, you know, I still had a big stack of papers, I just took one of my papers. This one was only painted on one side. And then I just started tearing strips with my straight edge. And I just did them all the width of my ruler, which is, if I remember right, it's a little bit over an inch. Inch and a quarter maybe. I don't remember. But I just did this. And And I made a stack of pieces, strips like that. And then I had another sheet. And I did the same thing, only I did it going this way. So I've got, you know, long ones and short ones. So there you go. I made stacks of these. So I've got a couple stacks that I already did. Here it is. There's these. There's my shorties. There's my longies. And, okay, like really you can just do whatever. You can weave them. I tried doing that, but it was tedious and I got tired of it, so I'm not going to weave them. I just started putting them like this. Let's kind of divide them up because I've got a couple different sheets I use, so I'll make a pattern like that, and then another one of these, and then another one of these, and then this one. And I made it kind of gappy, you know, left some gaps in between. You can fill it in totally if you want, but I kind of wanted a little bit of the painty paper underneath to show. So there's my long ones, and I just did a grid pattern. So I'm using 5 long ones and then my short ones. Let's go. Let's see, do I have different? Like that one. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that way. That'll work. And then you just glue them down. So it's just a crisscross grid pattern of strips, not really weaving them, but just to add some extra interest and also to make this a little bit sturdier. So I'm going to use this says matte Mod Podge. It should say mostly matte Mod Podge because I've poured other stuff in here. I just can't remember exactly what I've poured in there, but I know there's other stuff. I think I need a mat. Let me find a mat. Hang on. Okay, now found my little mat. Now I just start gluing these on. And okay, I'm gonna lay them out again because I want to eyeball how far apart they are. You know, to get them kind of sort of even. And then when I go to glue them down, that way I can remember how far I need to space them. Yeah, it's going to be about right. So they're probably about 1/4 of an inch apart. Yeah, that looks about right. About 1/4 of an inch. I can eyeball that. You can just rip these up, collage them on. You know, whatever. I'm just showing you what I did. Now, Mod Podge. Thin, even application. And then lay my strip down. And Mod Podge the top. And yeah, it's going to kind of wrinkle. And that's okay. Just keep going all along here. The wrinkling really bothers you. What I like to do is either let it dry a little bit or dry it. And this is not going to eliminate the wrinkles, but it'll help. So while it's still warm, take you some kind of a non-stick paper. This is some parchment paper. And then put it over it and run your plastic card. Kind of smush it. And see, you don't want to put this on while this is wet because you'll get what I just got. You'll get some sticking. Even though this is non-stick parchment, the wet will kind of stick to it. But like I said, it won't completely eliminate your wrinkles, but it will smooth them out, at least make sure that they're as flat as they can get. Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks really good. And I know you won't be able to tell a thing, but it smooths it out quite a bit. So keep doing this till you get all your strips down. I've smushed these down. See if you can tell the difference. See, this one I've dried and smushed, these two. These I have not. So you can see that this is less wrinkly than these. Well, I don't know if you can see. But you just have to trust me, they're less wrinkly. So now I'm going to do these last three. Kind of dry them. Heat them up good. I think the heat is the key for this because I don't know why, but I think it is. Okay. And then while they're still warm, put this over it. And smush. I've showed this before, but it was years ago. So sometimes I just feel like we need little reminders. Okay. Now, see if you can tell, these are much flatter now. Less wrinkly. I mean, yeah, there's still wrinkles, but they are smushed flat. So, once you, okay, do them one way, and then once that's dry, then take your cross pieces and do them the other way. And again, I'm just going to kind of lay them out so I can eyeball about how far between I need to space them. Okay, these I can space a little bit further. So about like that. Looks good. Then glue them down. Same thing. Oh yeah. Nice and smooth. No no huge Mod Podgy wrinkles. And it feels good too. So yeah, that is all I did for the covers. Then all you need to do is fold this in half. And this is my Painty paper bundle, signature, whatever you want to call it. Put it in there. All my pages were the same size, so everything fits flush. And you know, this is creep, which happens when you stack papers one inside another. And if you're going to make this just a big messy, you know, mixed media junk journal, this is fine because you might have other things sticking out on your pages too. So let's bind this, and maybe, I think I'll leave this one just like it is. I won't trim this one down. I've got this is a centering ruler, you know, it has the 0 in the middle. If you bind a lot of books, these are super helpful. So it just helps you find the exact middle, and you know, this doesn't have to be exact. I do get a little bit fussier than I need to be sometimes. But this makes it super easy, especially for pamphlet stitch. So you find the center, which is right here, because I hit at 4 1/4 on this side and 4 1/4 on this side. So I know that's my middle. And I'm going to put a little mark right there. And then let's do, yeah, let's mark off by every inch. So I've got the middle, and then there's 4 marks on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. So I've got 9 marks. Let's do a 9-hole pamphlet stitch. Woo. Yeah, it's just exactly the same as the 3-hole or the 5-hole or the 7-hole or the 29-hole. It doesn't matter. You just need an odd number of marks, and you need to poke them. So what I'm going to do is open this up, and I'm actually going to turn this like this so I can poke them this way. Just poke them whatever way is easiest for you. I'm going to do this so I can see my marks. Theoretically, I cannot see. There it is, that one. And they're right on the crease all the way across. Okay. And I'm just going to put that like that inside my signature so that I can see my little marks, and then do this. Just kind of lay it flat. See, my little thing is flat, and then poke it through, and that'll be right on the crease. I'm going to stick it all the way through because I want a big hole. And then do that for all your little marks. Find it. Fold this over, keep this down flat, and poke through. I have a book cradle that I use as well, but I usually only do that if I've got like a lot of signatures to punch or some kind of complicated pattern. Yeah, this works fine. Okay, got them all poked. They're all right on the edge, just like they're supposed to be. Now I'm gonna pull my cover out and put it back on the front. Still lined up, and yes we are. So I've got a piece of string here, and I measured, oh, this was for the little half one. Let me get another piece of string to do for this one. This is, I don't even know where I got this. I think someone gave these to me. It says braiding cords, and it's for kids' jewelry. 100% cotton, bright colors, awesome. So let's pull off, you need at least 2.5. Let's make it about 3 lengths, so that I've got plenty. And thread my needle. This is a bookbinding needle. It's dull on the tip. It's got a big eye. Tapestry needles work. And I think I want my tail on the outside because this is pretty. So I'm going to start the outside middle. And if you know you're going through here and you end up accidentally poking an extra hole somewhere, don't worry about it. I consider those air holes, and it allows your book to breathe better. So don't fret if you poke an extra hole. Then you just choose a direction, up or down, doesn't matter. Go through the next one. Kind of hold on to your tail. And then go through this one. You're just doing the up, down sewing thing. Is that my hole? Yep. That one. And then that one that's really too close to the end, but hopefully it'll hold just fine. There it is. Snug but not tight. Then you head back this way, so you're going to go into this hole that you already went in. Careful not to split your thread, which means don't pull your needle up through your thread. Make sure it's on one side of it, doesn't matter which side. And keep everything snug from this point on. Back down in this hole, go through the hole, not the thread. So keep it kind of to the side. Pull snug. Back through this hole. Like that. Now, we're to the middle one. You're going to skip over the middle one and go here. So it's up, down, every single hole until you get to the middle one, and you're going to skip over it. Need to tighten up a little bit. Okay, skip the middle hole and go into the one on the other side. So this is just how you do, this is a basic pamphlet stitch. It doesn't matter how many holes you have, as long as you have an odd number, because you want one in the middle and then an even number on each side. But the stitching is exactly the same. It looks just like a long stitch, but you end up in the middle instead of on either end. So yeah, that's all there is to it. And using more holes gives you kind of a more secure binding. And especially if you have papers of different sizes, because you know when you're binding, you have some like little half sheets in there, you want to make sure that each page gets at least 2 holes in it. So using a pamphlet stitch or a long stitch can help make sure that you catch all of your papers and that each one has at least 2 holes so that it doesn't move around. And then back up through, hit the hole, not the thread. Now when you get to the back to the middle, you're going to go up through that middle hole. Just like that. And see, this thread is coming on this side of the center stitch. So pull up on the other side. You're going to straddle that piece in the middle. So you got, where are we? This situation. And then you tie it off in a knot. And if you want your tails to be on the inside, then you start your sewing on the inside. If you want them on the outside, you start your sewing on the outside. And then just tie these in a knot. Pull it snug, but don't overdo it because you will tear your paper. And then there you have it. A 9-hole pamphlet stitch, and you can trim those off however you want them. So that's it. So there is a super simple way to make a little junk journal out of your Painty papers, and we just Mod Podge some strips on the cover, and we don't have any buckles or bubbles or wrinkles because, you know, we used our smooshing technique. And now you can fill it with whatever you want. I still plan to do mine something like this. I'm gonna start looking for some different kinds of, you know, colorful images. Those are awesome. Yeah, to put in there, do some collagey things. Maybe I'll doodle in it. I don't know, but it's going to be colorful and awesome. So that's it. That's all I've got for today, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, the end.